From wrestling in front of barely dozens in NXT to the bright lights of WrestleMania, this is your life as a WWE wrestler at every level. But your story doesn't even start in WWE or NXT. It starts when you're 19 years old and you just told your parents you want to be a professional wrestler. Your dad thinks you've lost your mind. Your friends think it's a phase, but you don't care because you've watched wrestling your entire life and you know this is what you're meant to do. So you enroll in a local wrestling school. You show up on day one thinking you're going to learn finishers and figure 4 leg locks. Instead, you spend 3 weeks learning how to take a bump. By the end of week 1, your body hurts in places you didn't know existed. But slowly, you get used to it. The bumps stop hurting as much. You start learning the basics: lockups, hip tosses, suplexes. 6 months in, you have your first match in front of about 40 people in a bingo hall in New Jersey. You lose the match in 6 minutes. The 40 people barely react, but you're hooked. You spend the next 2 years grinding. Weeknights, you're working a regular job to pay the bills. Maybe retail, maybe warehouse, maybe waiting tables. Weekends, you're driving 3 hours each way to wrestle in front of small crowds for a hot dog and a handshake. But the crowds, small as they are, start to notice you. Then, you start to get booked by bigger indie promotions like MLW. Companies like TNA start to notice you. You're working 5 nights a week now. Your phone storage is completely full of match footage you've sent to every promoter in the country. You run on 5 hours of sleep, fast food, and protein shake. But you're getting better. Crowds are growing. People are chanting your name. And then one day, you get an email from WWE. They want to sign you to NXT. You sign the contract. You move to Orlando. You are now property of WWE. The first thing they do is to change your name. The name you spent 3 years building, the name people were chanting in bingo halls from New Jersey to California. They don't like it. They hand you a list of new names that sound like rejected superhero names from a 2003 comic book. Then comes the makeover. New gear, new logo, new music. Welcome to NXT. Every match feels like an audition. Every promo gives you anxiety because while your in-ring work improved on the indies, you never worked on your character. You're looking over your shoulder constantly because there are 50 other hungry wrestlers here with the exact same dream as you, and only a handful of you are going to make it to the main roster. Your day starts at 7 in the morning at the WWE Performance Center with a strength coach. Then you have promo class with William Regal. Then you're in the ring for drills with Albert. Then you're studying match tapes with Shawn Michaels. By the time you get home, it's 8 at night and you have to do it all again tomorrow. Meanwhile, the internet has opinions about you. The same fans who were chanting your name in indie promotions 6 months ago are now on Reddit saying WWE has buried you. Ignoring the critics, you keep improving your promos and build a character fans connect with. Weeks pass, then months. You win some matches, you lose some matches, you get a short feud, you have a good match at a takeover, and maybe even hold the NXT title for a while. And then comes the day every NXT wrestler lives for. You get called into the office, and they tell you you're being called up to the main roster. But here is where your story splits into 2 very different directions. And which road you go down depends entirely on how Triple H and TKO feel about you. Path 1 is the life of a jobber. You debut on Raw and immediately start taking L's. Week 1, you lose to a midcard guy in 4 minutes. Week 2, you lose to a different midcard guy in 3 minutes. Week 3, you're on the pre-show losing to someone who was also losing matches last week. Your entrance music, which was already generic, has been changed to something even more generic. You're losing not just on television, but even on house shows. And house show life, let me tell you, is its own experience. You're on the road Thursday through Sunday, every single week. You fly into a city, check into a hotel that is fine but never great, eat whatever's near the venue, wrestle in front of a crowd that barely knows your name, then do it all again the next night in a different city. You're sharing rental cars with other lower card guys. You're navigating airports at 6 in the morning. You are exhausted in a way that is hard to explain to people who have never done it. And through all of this, you are losing matches every single week. And then one Monday, your phone rings. It's the office. They're sending you back to NXT to work on some things, which is a very polite way of saying what everyone already knows. That's the life of a jobber who eventually gets released and goes back to the indie circuit. The other path, though, is much better. Your debut pops the crowd. You win your first match clean. Within 3 weeks, you're in an Intercontinental or United States title feud. Suddenly, you're in video packages. You get promo time on television. The fans are optimistic. Someone on a podcast says you might be the future of the company. Your follower count jumps. A fan at the airport recognizes you for the first time and asks for a photo. For those first 2 weeks, you feel like a star. But then the title match happens. You put on a solid match, but you lose. And the following week, the champion has moved on to someone else and you're back to being a name on the roster. You're not buried yet. You're not a jobber, but you're just somewhere in the middle. You win some, you lose some. Fans recognize your face and your music. They just sometimes struggle to remember your name right away. But you're in WWE, you're in the big leagues, you're making real money for the first time in your life. You're not at the top, but you're not at the bottom either. You're in the middle. And for now, the middle isn't so bad. But then, something clicks. Maybe it's one promo that lands perfectly. Maybe it's a match that gets people talking. Maybe creative finally figures out what to do with you. Whatever it is, one day the booking shifts and you can feel it. The matches are longer, you're winning more than you're losing. You get a proper feud with weeks of build, video packages, a match at a premium live event that gets 15 minutes and a clean finish. The crowd is invested. Twitter fan pages pop up supporting you. A clip of your promo gets 100,000 views on Twitter overnight. And then it happens. You win the Intercontinental Championship, or the United States Championship. The mid-tier title that, when booked properly, feels like a very big deal. The moment your music hits after that win, standing in the ring holding that title above your head, that is one of the best feelings of your entire life. Your day-to-day life starts to look noticeably different now. You're on every pay-per-view. You're featured prominently on Raw and SmackDown. Casuals are starting to know your name. The travel is relentless at this level. You are on the road more than you are home. Your body is starting to keep score. The lower back that's been manageable for years is now something you discuss with the trainer every single week. You are in the gym constantly. At this level, the gym isn't optional and it isn't casual. Some wrestlers get stuck here forever. And honestly, it's not the worst place to be stuck. The money is good. You have job security. You have fans who care about you. But you can see the main event scene from here. You can see it clearly. And you want it. So you keep working. You keep improving. And one day Triple H calls you into a meeting and the words you hear are, "We want to put you in a world title program." The first time your face appears on a pay-per-view poster, you take a photo of it and send it to your parents without saying anything. Your mom cries. Your dad saves it as his phone wallpaper. This is the main event. You are now one of the handful of wrestlers that WWE considers a top guy. World title matches are your territory. You headline Raw, you headline pay-per-views. The attention that comes with this level is something nobody fully prepares you for. Your social media following jumps significantly. There are podcasts dedicated to explaining why you're overrated. There are Reddit threads debating whether you're a draw. The schedule at this level is insanely grueling because you are not just a wrestler anymore, you are a product. WWE needs you visible and present at all times because your face is connected to their revenue. You are doing local radio in whatever city Raw is in that week. You are doing talk show appearances. You are doing interviews before major pay-per-views. You have a personal tour bus now. The money at this level is life-changing. But here's the thing about the main event that nobody tells you. The pressure never turns off. Every match has to be great. Every promo has to land. Every appearance has to generate buzz, because at this level, there's no place for mediocrity. The margin for error gets smaller the higher you climb. Years of matches, live events, bumps, and travel have accumulated in your body. But you keep smiling, you keep working through it, and you give the crowd the match they came to see. And eventually, after years at this level, after championship reigns and WrestleMania moments and all of it, you become the guy. Not just a main eventer, not just a top star. You're now the face of the company. The one whose face is on the billboard outside the arena. The one whose merchandise outsells everyone else's by a distance. The one whose entrance gets the biggest reaction every single night. You walk through airports and it is no longer a question of whether someone will recognize you. Kids dress as you for Halloween. You are somebody's favorite wrestler the way The Undertaker or Stone Cold or Cena was your favorite wrestler when you were young, and the weight of that is not something you ever take lightly. The company is built around you. When creative maps out the year, your storylines go on the board first and everything else is arranged around them. You have Hollywood calling. There are conversations happening about movies, about endorsements, about things that exist far outside a wrestling ring. But the sacrifice is real. You are never fully off. There is no quiet weekend at home where nobody knows who you are. You miss birthdays, events, ordinary moments with family that normal people take completely for granted. You miss them because you're in a different city every night carrying a company on your back. You do it anyway, because this is what you dreamed about since you were a kid. You keep doing this for years until your body can't take it anymore. Then you pass the torch to the next face of the company, and for the first time in years, your body can finally rest. You pop up every now and then for special matches and segments, you coach younger talents, but your profile has been moved to the Legends section on WWE's website, and now you no longer have to carry the burden of being in the spotlight 24/7. One day, WWE calls, and the conversation is not about a match. It's about a ceremony. You are going into the Hall of Fame. This is the moment where a wrestling career stops being a career and becomes a legacy. Your name is now permanent in wrestling history. The Hall of Fame weekend is one of the most emotional experiences of your entire career. You sit in a room while someone who knows your story stands at a podium and tells it to thousands of people. You watch video packages of your career that you haven't seen in years. Moments you'd almost forgotten come back in full. The bingo halls, the main roster debut, the first title win, the WrestleMania entrance, all of it. You give your speech and you thank your family and your voice cracks. You stand there on the podium with the Hall of Fame ring as the crowd is on their feet and you realize that every single mile of this journey, every late-night workout, every bingo hall, every sacrifice, every bit of it was completely, absolutely worth it. Or, you can just marry The Undertaker and get into the Hall of Fame doing nothing.